Okay, so I know the last time I did this, I said it was going to be quick, and then it wasn't. This time I'm really going to do it quickly because I want to shower. Yeah. APA Draft 3 analysis. Here we go. I feel really weird. Can I put headphones in? Oh, wait, I lost my headphones. Okay. I don't have any headphones, so we're just gonna do it. Just gonna talk about my Pokemon. Okay, Draft 3. APA. You guys know the drill, I think. Long story short, this is a YouTube draft league. You know, very cool. Everyone always asking me about it. Real life, everyone's, hey, Wolf, it's really cool you're doing that YouTube draft league. I'm like, thanks. This isn't real life. Don't worry, guys. It's real life. I'm not making this up. 100% true. Fact. Only facts on this channel. 3 drafts. Play 4 games with them each against 4 different people. And then you have top cut, and you can pick any of the mons that you used previously as long as they all fit the requirements of like the tiering or whatever. Here's a spoiler. This draft is really bad. It's really bad. I'm pretty I wouldn't say like disappointed. I'm disappointed. I wouldn't say frustrated. It doesn't matter too much. Like just, you know, this league is just for fun or whatever. But I ended up being like really, really rushed in order to pick my team, and it just really resulted in a pile of garbage. So my team is really bad. I guess I'm just disappointed because I don't know. Like, I was really looking forward to this 3rd draft because I was, you know, planning on top cutting. Oh my god, I literally didn't even know I picked some of these mons. Okay, I'm looking at it now. I was, like, really looking forward to, like, you know, hopefully top cutting and then building, like, the super team, right? Because you have 3 drafts to do it. And so I picked a bunch of stuff in my first 2 drafts that I thought, like, could really give me good potential in the final one and really, like, give me a lot of, like, cool options. And then my plan was for the 3rd draft, plan everything in advance and basically build my top cut team and my 3rd draft team at the same time. But like I said, I ended up being really rushed, and so I kind of just like, I just messed up. Like, my team is just really bad. So we'll just do it. We'll just talk about it. It's okay. I mean, I'll still try and top cut, and like, you know, it doesn't have to be perfect, and maybe it'll work out anyway, but yeah. Okay. Pick number 1. Mew. Boop! We use Mew in the WBE Season 2. It's a solid mon. It's pretty good. It's got a ton of options. I really like Mew because it has both Stealth Rock and Defog. It can be defensive, it can be setup. This league did not ban Baton Pass, so you can do stuff with that. Obviously, it gets like every move in the game. Not every move in the game, but it gets a lot of every, you know, tutor move in the game. It's just a really solid option. You can do a lot with Mew, and it's a mon that's like really hard to prep for because it has so many different things you can do. You know, like I've considered running like Calm Mind, Bulk Up. Like I've run like Taunt with like Seismic Toss, and I've run like, you can run status moves, you can run setup moves, you can run just like good coverage moves, you can be Scarf, you can be Transform, you can be Z-Transform, you could be Specs. You know, Mew Z is banned, but that doesn't make Mew any less potent, so I think it's a solid pick. That's all I have to say about Mew. Next pick, boop, boop. Wait, next pick, Mega Tyranitar. Solid mon. I brought these two to WBE. I mean, if you watch that run, then you're familiar with like why I think they're good. Tyranitar again was a lower tier of a Mega for some reason, so I was looking at the Megas and there weren't that many that really interested me, especially with Mew. So I figured, yeah, take Tyranitar, get some extra points. At the moment, I had a plan. Yeah, I had a plan for my final draft, and that's part of the reason I took Tyranitar, but then I realized it wasn't going to work, so whoops. So yeah, I like Mega Tyranitar a lot. I think it's really bulky. It can set Stealth Rock, it can be a sweeper. I've swept people with Mega Tyranitar before. Good coverage moves. 4 times weakness to fighting isn't amazing, but and like weakness to ground and bug and stuff isn't perfect, but I find Tyranitar really bulky, and it's nice just to have a solid dark type for pursuit trapping. Sandstream obviously has the potential to pair with my Excadrill from the 2nd draft. Stealth Rocks is really good. We've got 2 Stealth Rock users in our first 2 picks, which is really good. I like Hazards a lot. Can't remove them, which is kind of a pain, but like whatever. Yeah, I don't know. Yeah, just like solid. It's just a solid mon. It hits hard. It's a really good sweeper. That's all I have to say about that. I don't know. It's Tyranitar. It's solid. Like, it's very bulky, and you can run it like kind of as like a defensive mon, as a mon that like you just want to be annoying and kind of like use as a switch in a bunch, or you can use it as like a setup mon, or you can you can do something in between. Where you have like options, or there's other stuff you can do as well. That's all I have to say about that. Next Pokemon, this is again planning for my top cut draft, like later realized wasn't gonna work. Boop, Nidoqueen. Nidoqueen's tier 2 mon. It gets 2 forms of hazards. It gets both Stealth Rocks and Toxic Spikes. So That's really good. Let's see what else. It's got really good coverage. So Nidoqueen also can hit pretty hard with Sheer Force. It has a lot going for it because it can be like fast Scarf with good coverage. It has really good coverage with like Sludge Bomb. I guess it's single. So Sludge Wave, Earth Power, Ice Beam, Thunderbolt. I don't think it gets Fire moves. It could. Maybe it gets Fire Blast. I don't remember. But like basically Ground and Poison is a combination that's really hard to switch into, primarily because the types that resist Poison are like what? Poison and Steel. And I guess Dragon doesn't resist Poison. Rock. All of which are weak to ground, and yeah, so that's like a pretty good reason, and it gets like Ice Beam for the flying types that are immune to ground, and the grass types. Grass obviously being weak to ground, or resistant to ground, but weak to poison and ice. So Nidoqueen is something that has a lot of potential offensively, but it also has decent defenses, and can function as a Toxic Spiker, which is really nice. It's also Poison type. I didn't pick a Poison type in my second draft, and nobody ended up taking advantage of that and using Toxic Spikes against me, primarily because like, even though I didn't take a Toxic Spiker, most of my team was immune to like my first 6 picks were all like immune or pseudo-immune to Toxic Spikes, so yeah. But I do like having a Poison type in my team because I did feel a little like vulnerable without it, so yeah. Nidoqueen, Stealth Rocks, Toxic Spikes, good offensive coverage. It does share a ground weakness and a water weakness with Tyranitar, which is not amazing. It does have a fighting resist, which is good, and a bug resist because both Mew and T-Tar share bug weaknesses. Again, this draft doesn't really have, I didn't really think a lot of things through. Yeah. That's all I have to say. Anyway, next. One this month for sure, so I picked it early. Araquanid, again, for my WB draft. Currently we have three of my first 4 picks I used in WBE. That's the last of what I took from that WBE draft. But yeah, Araquanid is just an amazing mon, especially when it can use a Z move. That's something that I felt kind of lacking in my WBE draft. Basically, I wanted to prioritize hazards, right? And on my second, so my first draft, I took Slurpuff, and my second draft, I didn't take a Sticky Web user, so I figured, like, I had some plan, I don't remember what it was, like, I basically was super rushed, so I was trying to come up with things on the fly, and then I later went down and, like, thought about it more, and so I realized, like, it wasn't gonna work, but, yeah, basically, Araquanid is a cool mon. It gives me, like, it's just, like, it's really strong, offensively, if the team doesn't have good water switch-ins, or, like, its ability is just really good. Sticky Webs and Spider Web and Toxic, it can all do. It's pretty much, like, I wouldn't say it's a one-trick pony, but it definitely is a little bit limited in what it does, but I don't think that necessarily makes it bad. I think Sticky Webs is really dangerous, especially with Pokemon like Tyranitar, Mew, mainly Tyranitar and Nidoqueen, to be honest, because, those are mid-speed Pokemon that hit really hard, and their main weakness is that they're slow, right? If we're talking about offensive weaknesses, not defensive weaknesses, like, it's not a coverage or a power problem with those two, it's a speed problem, and so having a Sticky Web user is really nice. So, yeah, that's Araquanid. Next up, boop, Ramanujan. I drafted this around the time, we started really early for this draft, so I was drafting this team around the time that I'd lost to Celesteela, and I was looking at my team and just looking at the fact that I didn't really have anything for Celesteela, so I was like, yeah, okay, like, I guess I take Ramanujan. It's a really strong mon, it's a mon that's really dangerous to prep for, mainly because it has Sheer Force Flare Blitz, which makes Flare Blitz extremely strong, and I've seen Choice Scarf variants. It also can use Choice Band if you want to just OHKO everything, make sure there's literally no switch-ins. Pairs well with Sticky Webs, obviously, as a mid-speed offensive breaker. Yeah. Don't really have that much to say about Tyranitar. I struggle against it in building every time that I have to play against it, and so normally that's a good thing to, like, look for in a Pokemon that you want to use, so boop! That's all I have to say about Ramanujan, I think. No hazards there, but I mean, all of our first 4 mons, like, we have Stealth Rock and Defog with Mew, Stealth Rock with Tyranitar, Stealth Rock and Toxic Spikes with Nidoqueen, and then Sticky Webs with Araquanid, so, yeah. I think that's all I have to say about that. Next mon. Boop! Chestnut. I had this plan where I was like, I don't know, it doesn't even matter, like, it doesn't really matter. Anyway, I took Chestnut next. It's a Spikes user. It does have 4 times weakness to flying, which is kind of a pain. Looking at the synergy of my team, it's questionable, to be honest. Like, it's really questionable. Yeah. But, we have a lot of ground weaknesses at the moment, so adding a second ground resistance, especially one that isn't weak to Stealth Rocks, can be good. Yeah, Chestnut is mainly there as, like, a Spike user, but it also has some cool stuff it can do. I know in singles they run, like, I've heard people running, like, sub Belly Drum Salic Berry, which is cool. And then Drain Punch to get your health back. Could be, like, Leech Seed, could be Spikes. Don't really know, like, that many other things it can do, but it's nice just to have a bulky Spikes user. I do like to have a Spikes user on my teams when I can grab one, so it's just nice for teams that lack hazard removal, or we'll get to it later. There is some cool stuff we can do with this team, but yeah. I think that's all I have to say for Chestnut. We don't have any repeat typing, I think. Let's see. Psychic, Dark Rock, ground poison, bug water, fire, yeah, grass fighting. So we've got a lot of the types covered already, which is nice. It's just nice to have another ground resistance as well. So Chestnut is a solid pick, I think. And then, like, at this point, I'd taken a lot of, like, I took 1 tier 1, 1 tier 2, and then 3 tier 3s on my Mega. And so, like, a lot of the good stuff from tier 2 and tier 1 were gone, and I still had, like, one more pick of each of those. So I was like, I don't know what's left. I took Togekiss next. Don't really remember why. Don't really know why. It's my second rock weakness. Doesn't add any repeat coverage. I mean, Togekiss is cool for a couple reasons. It pairs really well with Tyranitar. I think I felt like I needed a Defogger, because I was originally going to get Sylveon, but then I was like, I think I need a Defogger. So, very resistant to fighting, immune to ground. Defog is nice. Togekiss is cool because it pairs with, Sticky Web's really well, because if Togekiss has Air Slash with Serene Grace, which is a 60% chance to flinch, and so if you pair that with like Thunder Wave or Body Slam or whatever, it just becomes really threatening. Yeah, Togekiss it's just like I don't know. I just wanted to use it. I really don't remember why I took this, but it's like solid. It's whatever. I really don't care. It'll be fine. I think Togekiss has the potential to make opponents mad, which is definitely a good thing. And it pairs really well with our next pick, which is our next 2 picks actually. 3 of our next 4 picks. So my next pick is the Thundurus Incarnate. So Thundurus Incarnate, obviously one of the best VGC Pokemon of all time, even though it's fallen off a bit in recent years. Here's the thing. Thundurus Incarnate, it gets Defiant, not in VGC obviously, but in singles. And as you may have noticed, our team has a bunch of hazards. Like, we've got Sticky Webs from Araquanid, we've got Stealth Rocks and Toxic Spikes, we've got Spikes, we have a bunch of Stealth Rock users. And I really enjoyed using competitive Milotic in the WB in the second draft of this league, even though it only activated once, I think. I really feel like it puts on a lot of pressure, and it was something that I hadn't really considered to punish, like having a bunch of hazards, and then like in the past when I thought about singles, like I just was like, yeah, like we'll set our hazards and like we'll pressure. Like, you have to waste a turn to defog, which then like sets a momentum. You know, you have to waste a turn to set your hazards, and then you have to waste a turn to get rid of them. So like, it's a momentum swing. But the thing is, like, I didn't consider the idea of like competitive and Defiant Mons to punish like that, where it's kind of puts them in a lose-lose situation where if they defog, then you get a boost, and if they don't defog, then your hazards remain up. And for hazards like Toxic Spikes and Sticky Webs, that can be really devastating. So I took Thundurus partly because of Defiant, partly because there was like nothing left in tier 1, and I wanted more for Celesteela. I've been scarred by Celesteela. And partly because, so I have Togekiss, right? And as I've been kind of mentioning, my team is very mid-speed. And you guys might remember how Thundurus was played in VGC, and I don't want to let, if any of my opponents are watching this, I don't really want them to know. I don't want to tell them, you know, I don't want them to know, but if you know, you know, right? And I think a lot of you guys will know, so I think that could be really interesting. That's all I have to say with Thundurus. Well, I feel like my speech just slowed down a lot. Don't worry, I'll get back to being incoherent in a second. Next pick, so we had 1 tier 4 and 2 tier 5s left. I feel like these were solid picks. Next up, Drobagon, Druddigon. I like Druddigon a lot. I have fond memories of it from 2011. Aaron Traylor, top 4 US Nationals in the senior division with it. I've always liked Druddigon. I played against it at some point, and I thought it was actually pretty good. It gets Glare and Stealth Rocks, which are very good. So it gives us another Stealth Rock user. We kind of went in a drought after our first 3 picks. We only have 3 Stealth Rock users up until this point. Actually for the whole team, other than Druddigon. So it gets Stealth Rock. There wasn't that much in tier 4 I really wanted. Dragon gives us another unique typing on the team. And I already knew what I wanted for my Steel type on this team, so I was thinking of taking Magneton, but I was just like, meh, like Magneton, whatever. Druddigon gets Glare, right? Are you guys seeing where this is going? We've got Druddigon and Thundurus and Togekiss, and a team that's very like mid-speed. You guys see what I'm doing? And Hazard, so like if they want to switch out and in, of like to make sure that like they don't get paralyzed. You see what I'm doing here? Like, was I doing it on purpose initially? No. Am I doing it on purpose now? Yes. I don't know. Druddigon also was like phasing. It gets Rough Skin. I don't know. I think it gets Sheer Force. It probably gets one more ability. Maybe Mold Breaker. I don't know. It's just like a cool mon, you know? And it can glare stuff. And I like that it glares stuff. And the Stealth Rock can glare and like recovery, or and Dragon Tails and phasing, like in Roar, is all really good. So, yeah. Anyway, tier 5. Like, tier 5 is always what you can make of it. I grabbed Hitmonchan as my second to last pick, my penultimate pick. Hitmonchan, I don't know. It like has rapid spin. It could be like I don't know. I feel like Hitmonchan is more of a tier 4 mon than a tier 5 mon. I had trouble with Hitmonchan before. It gets Iron Fist, it gets priority, it gets rapid spin. It's nice. Like my team is kind of bad in the defogger department, the removal department, because Thundurus, Togekiss, and Mew are all I have to remove. So like a tier 5 mon that I could actually see myself bringing and has some kind of removal, I actually think could be good. I believe Hitmonchan also gets knockoff. And so that's like a really amazing utility move. So I don't know. I feel like Hitmonchan's okay. Choice Spin probably hits pretty hard, and you can Rapid Spin, and you can run Assault Vest. You can probably run Z move and just like do some damage. So I don't know. I feel like Hitmonchan could be okay. And then last but not least, we have Togedemaru. Togedemaru, I don't know. It has Nuzzle. It has Super Fang. I don't know. I just thought it looked cool. Don't really have anything to say about it. It gets Wish, I think. But it doesn't really do much for the team, but it can Nuzzle stuff, which is fun. You can run Assault Vest Nuzzle, you can run, you know, Electric and Steel isn't bad. I did need a Steel type on this team, I felt like. It does repeat we have some repeat typing now. We have 2 Flying types, we have 2 Electric types. I think that's it. I don't know. Team's not, I don't feel, it's not good, but it's not good by the kind of team that I like to play, but like, if I play it more as like trying to set up for my offensive sweepers, I could probably do okay with it. But yeah, it could be better, I'll be honest. But it could be worse, probably. Anyway, I think that's all I have to say about that. Thanks for watching. I think it'll be an interesting experience to use. And let's be honest, it's not going to be worse than my GBA team, which was like Florges, Bronzong, Conkeldurr, Reuniclus, Xurkitree, Mega Garchomp. Like, it's not going to be worse than that, right? So, we went like even with that. So, I think if we go 2-2, we can probably top cut. I mean, ideally, we'll be going 4-0. But, like, realistically, we're playing Gator, we're playing Emby, we're playing Geo. And I forget the last person, but they're also good. So yeah, it's like we might be going a 0-4, which would be embarrassing, but what can you do? That's Pokemon. So, well, it's not really Pokemon, but we're just gonna pretend like it is. Anyway, that's all I have to say. Thanks for watching. I'm gonna shower. Check out next week when we see if this worked or not. And goodbye.